Hey people, Mark here, and welcome to this Cannon Fodder. I don't usually talk about these, but this one had some interesting stuff in it that I wanted to sort of get into the nitty-gritty of here. First, it starts off talking about some of these maps, which Scar, its lore is interesting enough. You know, it's kind of what you expect of the Banished. They've got these resource-rich worlds that we read about in the encyclopedia that the Brutes were stationed on as guards by the Prophets, and now they just kind of own those worlds with tons of resources on them. But the one that is more interesting to me is Forest. Since it was briefly explored as part of Operation Grey Veil in 2544, in which an ODST fire team and a Spartan 2 super soldier was sent to assassinate a Covenant prophet, we just talked about that. We just talked about that in the Diligence class breakdown a couple days ago, maybe a week ago now. And as we talked about in that video, there are human figures in the architecture and the statues and the decorations of that place. And it says the ancient ruins have defied attempts to categorize them by Oni analysts and researchers. So that wasn't just like a throwaway thing. I can't believe they actually came back to this. So apparently some people had just, during the created conflict, these guys just kept working here. These researchers that were left on Heian just kind of stayed there and did their job. Alex actually goes way back into Primordium and Silentium, talks about how it all led up to Point of Light, where it's sort of given not the same species, but sort of genetic brethren. They're both created by the precursors, so that's of course the case, but the Librarian looks strange for Forerunners. At least the two that we've actually seen, her and the Didact, she does look a little different. She has 5 fingers instead of 6, she looks like a person with no nose, and so this goes into the idea again that Forerunners are humans. They still are, even though they look like they're not. When this was brought up in Point of Light, it does give more context for why the Librarian likes humans as much as she does, because she is more closely related to them, I guess. It also gives more credence to the idea of ancient humans being as high of a tech level as the Forerunners at the time, and the idea that Forerunners were humans, which, I mean, they kind of were. Now, on that particular 343 Guilty Spark line, play it, Mark.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go right now.
Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring. You are the child of my makers, inheritor of all they left behind. You are Forerunner. But this ring is mine.
Now, I don't think that this line in particular is referring to the fact that humans and Forerunners share genetic structure. I still do think that Master Chief is literally the ESO Didact. But you know what, that's neither here nor there. It goes into the lore of the hazmat suits a little bit too, which that's not of particular interest to me, but then I got down to this. Well, there's this too. This is pretty cool. Some reverse engineered Forerunner tech. Humans are trying to make teleporters like the Forerunners had, that's pretty cool. But this Threat Seeker. Now, the Banished have taken the UNSC's threat sensor and turned it into the Threat Seeker. I don't actually know what this does, but what's interesting to me is that human mercenaries from the Order of Harmony have made this. Human mercenaries from the Order of Harmony. There's still humans in the Banished. I thought they would be gone once Escharum took over because he does not like humans. Atriox is indifferent, it seems, but there are still humans in the Banished, which that is very interesting to me. This goes into the story shard. I'll be honest with you, I have not been following the story shard stuff. And he promises, you know, a preview at Halo Outcasts. That'll be cool. But there are humans in the Banished. Why are there not human enemies in the game? Well, I mean, I guess that would be because Escharum didn't like them. But, you know, that'd be really cool. Would mercenaries in the Banished fight the UNSC is the question. Morally, would they do it? I'm sure that they're probably insurrectionist sympathizers, but we'd have to actually see them to know. Huh. The Order of Harmony is a human-led clan serving the Banished. I had not heard of these guys. I knew there were humans in the Banished. I'd never heard of this specific Order of Harmony. Interesting. But yeah, that's all I've got for this one. I just wanted to talk about some of this stuff. I'll be back with, what's next? A video on grunts. So yeah, see you then.